Hi, welcome to our YouTube session for creating sketch. In this example, we're going to create a plate like this one from scratch, and we're going to use the new sketch tool to create a sketch. I'm not going to things like the extrude or the details of the sketch tools, except that the starting point of the sketch. In our other sessions, we'll cover the sketch tools. So we're going to build a new plate similar to this one. So we're going to create a new item. We're going to create a metric template. If you're using imperial sizes, you're welcome to go to the inches or other units. I'm going to create this item. It creates a blank part for us. We've got a default plane that we can work with. So you'll notice we select the XY plane. It allows us to create on the actual plane. You can also click the 2D start sketch button, and then it'll give us the planes. We can pick the plane we want to work on. So I generally work on the XY plane, which represents the plan view, but you're welcome to use any plane. If I select the XY plane, it then orientates it perpendicular down. Then we're going to activate our sketch tool. It's going to be a rectangle. We're just going to draw out our size. It's a 60 by 60 plate. We can also use the dimension tool to orientate it around its center, so it'll be halfway across the length, halfway across the height. That's why we just use the divide by 2. So if this changes to 80, this will always be changed to 40. Now that we've got our sketch done, now we're going to create volume out of that. So we'll hit the extrude command. This is going to be a 4mm plate, and we'll say OK to that to accept that. Now, the other ways of creating a sketch is to select the plane that you want to work with. You'll notice we can select any of the flat surfaces in order to create a new geometry location, almost like putting a piece of paper on the plate. So we want to draw on that. And we can use the Create Sketch button from the hotbar, with this little bar here is called the hotbar. We can also click where we want to work with and just press S on our keyboard. That's the keyboard shortcut for sketch. We want to map out our new edge that we want to work with. So we're going to just aim at the edge there, start our line, give it a rough size of about 8mm, left click for the end point, click and drag around our slot, come back down across there, and then we can form that up using dimensions. We'll go 8 by set type to diameter. We want 8 by 8, and we want it centered. In this case, I know that the center to the edge is going to be 30. Bearing in mind, if the plate changes to 40, it's not going to stay centered. So in order to make it keep centered, let's not use the dimension. Let's lock it to the center plane of the plate. So if the left and right changes size, the slot will always be in the middle. We can use something like the coincidence constraint to do that. So I'm going to grab the center to center. It's going to, sorry, vertical. So if the plate changes orientation, that will always stay centered. Now to create a slot out of that, we can use the extrude tool again. And in this case, it wants to add volume to the top of the plate, which is not quite what we want. We want to actually create a cut into that. The option is to actually just create the cut tool. We'll go into more details of the other options available to extrude in other segments of our YouTube series. I'm going to say OK to accept that. And if we want to do something like holes, we had the plate with 3 holes orientated around there. We're going to select the face we want to work with, click the sketch tool. It creates a new sketch for us to work on. In this case, I'm just going to activate the point tool. I'm going to jot down 3 points, roughly where I want them. We're going to make this 15mm from the edge. This one's going to be the same from the outside. Let's go from the inside. So we want to do vertical again. That one's vertical to the center. This one's going to be positioned 10mm from the side, bearing in mind the hole's maybe a 6mm diameter. So we need space for the hole and the outside. And then we're going to center this. And 10, same size. So if this size changes to 15, that side changes to 15. And to finish the sketch, we click Finish. Some of the other things about the sketch tool that I just want to cover briefly before we get into other segments around sketching. Sketches can be turned on and off by using the right-click visibility. It's still available, just not usable. So if you have an invisible sketch and you activate the hole tool, it then wants you to place individual holes. But if you've got a sketch visible with points in it, in this example, and you activate the hole tool, it auto selects the points that come in the actual sketch. So it makes it useful to lay out holes or drillings. And that covers the sketch tool. Check out the rest of our series for other learning.